King Latinus was a legendary ruler of the ancient region of Latium in central Italy, and one of the most important figures in the traditions about the origins of the Roman people. He ruled the Latins, a group of early Italian tribes who lived in the fertile plains around the lower Tiber River. Latinus is remembered mainly through early Roman traditions and epic poetry, especially the stories describing the arrival of Aeneas, the Trojan hero who came to Italy after the fall of Troy. In these traditions, Latinus appears as a wise and cautious king who played a decisive role in the creation of the people from whom the Romans later claimed descent. Latinus was said to be the son of Faunus, an ancient king associated with the forests and fields of Latium, and the nymph Marica, a divine spirit connected with rivers and wetlands. Through this lineage, Latinus was believed to have both royal and divine ancestry. Ancient traditions sometimes traced his family even further back to Saturn, the old god who was believed to have ruled Italy in a distant Golden Age. Because of these connections, Latinus was not seen merely as a political leader, but as a figure linked to the sacred past of the land. The kingdom of Latinus lay in the region that would later become the heartland of early Rome. His capital is usually identified with Laurentum, an ancient settlement located near the coast south of the Tiber River. The land of Latium was a mixture of fertile plains, forests, and low hills, suitable for farming and grazing. The Latins lived in scattered communities connected by language and tradition, rather than by a single centralized state. Latinus ruled as the leading king among these peoples and was regarded as their protector and judge. One of the most important moments in the story of Latinus came with the arrival of Aeneas, the Trojan prince who fled the destruction of Troy. According to tradition, Aeneas landed on the coast of Latium with a group of Trojan refugees seeking a new homeland. At first, the arrival of these strangers caused uncertainty among the local people. Latinus, however, received omens suggesting that the newcomers were destined to settle in the land. Oracles and prophecies had warned him that his daughter should marry a foreigner who would bring a powerful new people into Latium. Latinus had a daughter named Lavinia, who was his only child and heir. Before the arrival of Aeneas, she had been promised in marriage to Turnus, the prince of the Rutulians, a neighbouring people. Turnus was a powerful warrior and expected to become the future ruler of Latium through his marriage to Lavinia. When Latinus decided instead to give Lavinia to Aeneas, the decision created a deep conflict between the Trojans and the Rutulians. Turnus saw the marriage as a betrayal and gathered allies to resist the newcomers. Despite the growing tension, Latinus tried to avoid war. Some traditions describe him as a peaceful ruler who hoped to unite the Trojans and the Latins through marriage rather than conflict. He recognized that Aeneas and his followers could strengthen his kingdom. However, the rivalry between Turnus and Aeneas soon led to open warfare across Latium. Battles were fought between the Trojan settlers and the Italian tribes who supported Turnus. Different traditions describe the fate of Latinus in different ways. Some accounts say that he was killed during the war between Aeneas and Turnus, possibly in battle against the invading forces. Other versions claim that he survived long enough to see the final victory of Aeneas and the union of Trojans and Latins. In these stories, Aeneas married Lavinia and founded the city of Lavinium, named in her honour. The combined Trojan and Latin peoples became the ancestors of the Romans. After the death of Latinus, the kingdom passed into the hands of Aeneas and later to Aeneas's son, Ascanius, also known as Iulus. Ascanius eventually founded the city of Alba Longa in the Alban Hills. From the royal line of Alba Longa, many generations later, came Romulus and Remus, the legendary founders of Rome. Through this chain of descent, Latinus became part of the mythical ancestry of the Roman people. In Roman tradition, Latinus symbolized the meeting of two worlds. He represented the ancient native peoples of Italy, while Aeneas represented the newcomers from Troy. Their alliance explained how the Latin people were formed and how Rome could claim both an Italian and a Trojan heritage. The marriage of Aeneas and Lavinia was seen as the moment when these traditions were joined together. Latinus was remembered as a king who ruled during a transitional age, when scattered tribes began to form larger communities. His reign was associated with peace and prosperity before the wars that followed the arrival of the Trojans. Later, Roman writers portrayed him as a just ruler who respected divine signs and followed the will of the gods. In this way, he became an ideal example of early Italian kingship. Although King Latinus belongs to legend rather than confirmed history, his story reflects real traditions about the early peoples of Latium. Archaeological evidence shows that many small communities existed in Latium during the Late Bronze Age and Early Iron Age. The figure of Latinus may represent a memory of early leaders who governed these communities before the rise of Rome.